Welcome to another New Jersey Small Business Development Center's video. My name's Chris. This is Ryan. We're going to talk about how to start or grow your business.
So whether you're brand new at business or you've been at it for a couple of years, we're going to go over some of the core fundamental elements to make sure that you have good success.
So Ryan, what is the first step to start a business?
I'm glad you asked me that. There's actually a lot of different areas that most people start businesses with. But one of the core areas should be, how feasible is this? So first I want to start off by defining what is feasibility. So feasibility, simply put, is the state or degree of being easily or conveniently done. And now there are tons of different types of feasibility studies, but the 5 core ones that I want to concentrate on are technical, economic, legal, operational, and scheduling. So we want to make sure that each of these are addressed when thinking about my business model and my economic model, which we'll get to in a little bit. But now, why is it important? The main reason why it's important is because it determines the likelihood of having financial success. It also helps you shape and design the business, maybe possibly even pivot the business. It's also important to show your banks and potential partners that this business idea is going to work. So how do we start a feasibility study? Usually we start with just doing some market research. And as a special guest, we have our marketing consultant for the SBDC with us to make sure that we do things correctly.
So what is the first step of figuring out if a business is feasible?
Oh, that's a good question. So we want to address basically around 6 questions to make sure that the business is feasible. The 6 areas are the demand, the market size, the economic indicators that can affect my business negatively or positively, the location, market saturation, and pricing. So let's go back and revisit those 6 points that we just mentioned. The first one is demand. So the demand is the desire for your product or your service. There are a bunch of different websites that we can go to find out how the demand is for my product and my environment, what are the consumer buying behaviors, what are the economic trends, but there's also surveys that we can do locally to help find out what the demand is for that product. Another one is the market size. Now, a common mistake that we've seen a lot is that people start off with a market size that's way too big for them. So what's attainable and what's feasible? You know, what kind of resources do you have and what kind of a market reach do you have? For example, if it's a pizzeria, you usually might have a 15-20 minute drive time from your local pizzeria as your core market, unless you have resources to go a little further out. Other items would be the economic indicator. The economic indicator would be things like, what is the average income range in the area? What are the employment rates? What's the interest rates? What are these elements and how do they affect your business? These are all examples of why you want to give a SBDC consultant a call to make sure that we're getting the right pieces of data for you to help build and shape your business plan. Another one is going to be the location. The location, again, is going to be your town or the entire state, or if it's an online business, it might be even the entire country or the world for that matter. But we need to be very clear with who my core target audience is and where are they located. Market saturation helps us plan our business a lot too. How many other options are there for your consumer to reach out to you or to your competitor to buy a product? It helps me understand how to stay competitive and how to make sure that I deliver the best experience for the consumers in my area. And then pricing. Pricing is a long conversation that you want to have with your consultant. We want to have pricing models in place. What kind of pricing models do we have? And that simply means, what mentality or what approach am I using to come up with the price for my business? Put all these together and it helps me give a better idea of how feasible my product or my idea is. Now that we know what the core 6 questions are that we should be asking to determine feasibility, and remember, feasibility is a question that we ask when we're launching a business for the first time or when we are expanding our business. It might be a new product, it might be a new market. Either way, we need to determine how feasible is this new chapter in our business's development. So, Chris, are there any methods that you might recommend for determining feasibility or getting the information for this?
Well, there's a few. So you can do surveys, questionnaires, focus groups, in-depth interviews, and there's a ton of online databases.
Yep, as you guys will see here, we are providing you guys with some online database examples, and these are all free. These are all usually government sourced, government curated, and they don't all apply to everybody for all businesses and all business types. This is when you want to work with a good consultant to determine what's the right one for us to use and also give you a little bit of an education course on how to use it.
So Ryan, how about competitors?
So competitors are actually something that we look for on a regular basis. You know, competitors keep us on our toes. Competitors prove that the market and the concept and the product and the service all actually work. So we want to be up to date with what's going on. We want to create a competitive advantage, you know, a differentiating factor of what's different from my business versus the competition. So the first is I need to understand what my landscape looks like. What is my market share? You know, how many competitors are there, but geographically or you know, economically, how big is my market? We also want to understand what our strengths and weaknesses are, opportunities and threats. What is that called again?
That would be called a SWOT analysis.
Yep, that's why we brought in the marketing pros. And on top of that, we want to also look at timing. Timing the market is very important. Technology that's too on the cutting edge, and if we invest too much money into that new technology, it's a little bit of a risk. Do we have the ability to sustain that risk? So understand your window of opportunity. We also want to understand the target market of my competitors, and do I go after the same market? And if I do, what is making my services a little bit different from their services? It might be something as simple as a language that I speak. It might be the way that I service the customers, or it might be the hours that I service the customers. Lastly, we need to understand what kind of barriers does our business face. That might be an economic barrier, that might be a political barrier, that might be a supply chain barrier. Understanding what kind of barriers affect us and how we can better plan to take advantage or better prepare to circumvent that barrier helps us get to our success. And these are all the elements that we're going to be looking at when we are conducting our feasibility studies.
Remember everyone, the New Jersey Small Business Development Centers network is here to help you. We've helped over 15,000 small businesses grow with 3 things: no-cost small business consulting, training and events starting at $0, and exclusive small business resources. So if you want a little bit more information on the NJSBDC, go ahead and visit njsbdc.com, or if you're ready to go, you could speak to a business consultant and go ahead and get registered at njsbdc.com/request-counseling.